Okay, welcome to the second video in my Android Basics and Kotlin training. So that's at the developer.android.com training, Androids and Basics and Kotlin, Kotlin Basics, Intro to Kotlin. Alright, so we already wrote our first program. Now we're going to go on to Introduction in Kotlin, Unit 1. Section 4, create a birthday message in Kotlin. So let's take the code lab. In this code lab, you'll create a short Kotlin program that prints a birthday message with a cake and a birthday banner. Prerequisites: how to open and edit the code in the Kotlin program browser-based Kotlin programming tool. Understand the Hello World program from the Write Your First Program in Kotlin. How to use the print line to write text in the console of an online Kotlin code editor. What you will learn: how to print more complex text from your program, how to do basic math in Kotlin and store the results in variable for later use, how to create a function and print the same string several times, how to create a loop that prints a text snippet multiple times. What you will build: you will create a short program that you can print birthday messages, a text-based picture of a cake and a banner. A computer with internet access and modern web browser is needed. Alright. Create a birthday message. Set up your starter code in the playground. So I'll just click that to open another window. Alright. Right. Inside the function main, replace hello world with happy birthday Rover. Okay. Below that, still inside the curly braces, add two more lines to print. You are already 5, and 5 is the very best age to celebrate. So my Kotlin playground should look like this. So happy birthday Rover, you are already 5. 5 is the very best age. Alright. So happy birthday Rover. Okay. Next line, print line. Already 5. Five is the very best. Oops. 5 is the very best age to okay. Happy birthday, Rover. You're already 5. They used exclamations everywhere. They put a comma here. Alright, so now my Kotlin playground setup looks exactly like this. Alright, run your code. Verify that the output pane shows happy birthday Rover, and below that you are already 5, and 5 is the very best age to celebrate. Alright. Add a birthday cake. A birthday message needs a birthday themed picture, like a cake. You can add a cake to your birthday message by printing additional lines that use letters and symbols on your keyboard and print line. Continue the solution code above. In your code, between the two print line statements for happy birthday, you are already 5, Add the following lines of print statements as shown below. This creates a cake. The last print line statement has no text between the quotes, which prints an empty line. Okay. So, for simplicity, I think I better just copy this because they have the spacing that it needs to get the right print setup. It says add it below or above. Below happy birthday and you are already 5. Between. Okay. So between happy birthday and you're already 5. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, happy birthday, Rover. Then a little cake. You are already 5. 5 is the very best age to celebrate. To help understand the code, you can add a comment before you print the cake. If you run your code, the output won't look any different because comments are just for information for you and other developers. It is not for commands for systems. An inline comment starts with // followed by the text. This is a inline comment. This is another. Add a comment before you print the cake. Let's print the cake. Add a comment before printing the empty line. This is an empty line. Okay. Code should look like this, and it does. Notice we've added some white space, blank lines, here and here and here. In the code to separate sections of the code, this makes the code more readable. You can now add empty lines anywhere you find it helpful. Run your code and the output should look like this, and it does. Create and use variables. Store Rover's age in a variable. In your finished code so far, notice how you are repeating the same age number twice. Instead of repeating this number, you could store it in one place as a variable. It's like putting your number into a box and giving it a name. Then you can use this variable anytime you need the value, and if the age changes, you only have to change your program in one place. By changing the variable, the correct value for the age is printed everywhere in the variable is used. In your program, as the first line of code inside the main function, add the following code to create a variable called age with a value of 5, as shown below. You must put this line before the print line statements. Alright, val age equals 5. This line val is a special word used by Kotlin called a keyword, indicating what follows is the name of a variable. Age is the name of a variable. Equals makes the value of the age on its left to be the same as the value on its right. In math, a single equal sign is used to assert that the values of each side are the same. In Kotlin, unlike math, a single equal sign is used to assign the value on the right to the name variable on the left. A developer would say it like this. This line declares a variable named age whose assigned value is 5. A variable declared using the val keyword can only be set once. You cannot change its value later in the program. You can declare changeable variables with the var keyword, which you will do in later code labs. To use a variable inside a print statement, you need to surround it with some symbols that tell the system that what comes next is not text, but a variable. Instead of printing text, the system needs to print the value of the variable. You do this by putting your variable inside curly braces preceded by a $sign, like in the example below. Okay, $sign in curly braces, variable name. Okay. In your code, replace the number 5 in both print statements with the age variable as shown below. Alright. You are already 5, but we're not going to do that. We're going to put one of these guys, and then we're going to put those, and then we're going to put age, and then we're going to do the same thing here. So we'll just copy this. And alright, and it should turn out the same. And it does. Cool. Change the value of the variable to something different. For example, you could show Rover's age in days instead of years. Alright, so just multiply 5 by 365 by doing some basic math. Okay, you're already 1825. Alright, that works. Run your code again and notice that both messages now show the age in days. Optional, you could change the text of the print messages to work better with days. For example, change them to read, you are already 1825 days old. But I'm not going to change the age because we're probably going to have to change more right now. Alright, below the variable for age, add a variable called name for the name of the birthday person and set its value to Rover. Okay, can do that. I gotta use quotation marks. And it'll probably want me to change this to name. If that works. Yeah, works. Okay. Yep. Replace the rover in the birthday message with the variable name. And you can have more than one variable in a print statement. And so add the name to this print statement. Your completed code should look like this, and it does, more or less. Congratulations, you can now create messages with text, graphics created from symbols, used variables to store numbers and text, and print text using variables. Print a birthday banner with a border. Okay. In this task, you'll create a birthday banner and then learn how to simplify that code using techniques for repeating and reusing code, and why this is a good thing. Okay, replace your right click, copy and paste the code below, and paste it into the editor. Alright, so we're just going to start over, I guess. So what we will do is we'll just delete all this. Okay, there we go. And we'll paste what they told me to paste. And we'll run it, see what it looks like. So, happy birthday, John. See, we got some borders around the name. Run your program and see the banner printed out in the console. We did that. Create a function for printing the border. The code that you just pasted and ran is a function called main that contains 3 print statements. When you press the run button, the system executes the function and all the code inside it. In a previous code lab, you learned that a function is a section of programming or a program that performs a specific task. The fun keyword marks some code as a function. After the fun, the keyword follows the name of the function, parentheses for optional input to the function or arguments, and curly braces. Your code for printing text went inside those curly braces. Your Kotlin program always has to have a main function. In addition, you can create and use functions of your own, just like variables, to help you avoid duplicating work. Functions can help you avoid writing the same code multiple times. In your code, the print statements for the top and bottom of the banner are exactly the same. Let's create and use a function for printing those borders. In the editor below the main function, insert an empty line just to give you some room to work, for the system ignores empty line, so you can insert the empty lines wherever they are helpful for organizing your code. Create a function, start with the fun keyword, followed by the name print border, a pair of parentheses that are empty, and a pair of curly braces that are shown. So I'll just copy it instead of typing it. So function print border, and that's going to come right after the main function. It says leave one empty line, print border, and we're going to probably put this print line in right here. Copy that. We're going to probably put that right there, paste. Oh. Alright, And then we're probably going to remove this one and remove this one. We'll probably just call this function to put that above and below this. Let's see. Alright, so what about naming functions? Notice how the name of the function print border starts with lowercase letter and a verb. Function names almost always start with lowercase letters and a verb, and they should describe what the function does, like print or here, print border. Notice that the second word inside the name starts with uppercase. This style is called camel case and makes it much easier to read. Some more names examples are draw really cool fancy border and print birthday message. Naming function like this is a coding convention, an agreement among developers on how to format code. Formatting all the code similarly makes it easier to read and learn from that code, or read and learn from code that other programmers have written. When you see code from other Android developers, it will usually be formatted using these conventions. To learn more about formatting code, you can find all the conventions in the official style guide at developer.android.com Kotlin style guide. There's a lot. There is a lot in that guide, but if you're curious, go take a look. Alright, put closing braces on print border function on a new line. Add an empty line in between the two curly braces to give room. Remember, having closing braces on its own makes the line easier. Inside the main function, copy the print statement for the border and paste it between the curly braces of the print border function. Your finished print border function should look like this, and it does. To use or call a function, use its name with parentheses. Alright, so that's how we call it, so let's do that. So above here we'll do print border, and parentheses, and we'll do it here too. Oh, should be lowercase print border and parentheses. Alright, and let's see if it runs the same thing. And it does. Alright. Alright. Run your code and make sure it's all working as before. Changing the code to make it better or easier to work with without changing the output is called refactoring. Looking at the borderline, it is really the same symbol over and over again. So instead of saying print the string of 23 symbols, you could say print this one symbol 23 times. In your code, do this by using a repeat statement. In your print border function, use a repeat statement to print the equal sign 23 times. Instead of using a print line, use print so that you do not jump to a new line after printing each equal sign. Repeat 23 times. Okay. Print. So let's change that function to do that. So we'll just start a repeat. And we'll do it 23 times. And we'll do some curly braces, and then we'll just do print instead of print line. And we'll do equals. Is that how they had it? Okay. Print. Did I put lowercase? I did. Oh, it should work. Let's see. Ooh. But why is Okay. Let's see what it says. The repeat starts with the word repeat, followed by that, blah, blah, blah. Ah. Okay, it says after you are done printing the border line, add a print line statement to print a new line. Okay. See if that fixes it. Yep, it does. Okay. Should now look like this. And it does. The code in the main function does not change, and your entire program should look like this. Run your code, and the output should be the same as before, but this time you were able to create the border by specifying the equal symbol only once. Pretty cool. Use these arguments to change the border. What if you wanted to create borders that use different symbols, such as the ones below? You could define a separate function for each of these symbols. However, there is a more efficient way to do this. You can reuse the function you already wrote and make it more flexible so that it works for all different kinds of symbols. The cool thing about functions is that you can give them input using arguments. You encountered this briefly in a previous code lab when you got acquainted with the main. In this step, you will add an argument to the print border function so that it can print any border pattern that you supply. In the main, at the top, create a variable called border for the border pattern. This will hold the text to repeat for the border. Val border equals %. They said do that in the main function, so val border equals in parentheses %. Okay, and then we're probably going to pass in val border as a parameter. Let's see. Now pass that border variable into both calls to the print border function as an argument. Oh, okay. So we'll pass it in that way. So we're not going to pass it in here. We're going to pass it in here. Okay. So if I try to run it, it should not execute. I should get errors on those border lines. Unit defined in root package. Too many arguments for public function border. You are calling print border function and passing a border as input. However, the print border function does not accept any input at the moment. To fix this error, add an argument in the print border function definition. See the first line of code as shown below. Okay, so we're going to take the value border of type string into print border. Okay. Okay. And this is going to say not, it's going to say print. Notice that the name of the argument is border. The name followed by the colon and the word is string. Description of what type the argument is. A string is a piece of text. A string helps the system enforce your argument is text. In your code, your code runs without errors. Look at the output of the program and it still shows the same border as before. This is not the intended behavior. You try to make the border with the % symbol, but your program is still not printing the border with the equal symbol. In the next step, you'll investigate why this is happening. In the editor, you noticed great exclamation mark. The parameter border is never used. This warning explains that the problem with the output. You are passing a string for the border of the function, you're not using it. Change the print border function to use the passed in border. Yeah, that's what I thought. Put the border into the print. And now it should work. It should be % signs now. Yep, and it is. Okay. Great job, you fixed the problem. Here's your finished code. You made a print border function a lot more flexible without adding much more code, and now you can print a border of different symbols with just a small change. Optional, by changing only a single line of code in the main function, you could print a birthday banner like this. So basically it says play around with just changing the border in the what's going on here? So basically it says like change this to different stuff and see what it looks like. And I changed it. Alright, I'm not going to keep changing it. Modify functions to have 2 arguments. What if you wanted to use a different pattern that was longer with 1 character? Say that pattern. You would not repeat this pattern 23 times, as it would be way too long. You could repeat it maybe 4 times. To accomplish this, you could change the number of repetitions in the repeat statement of print border. However, you can do something better. You can define a fancier border based on 2 things. The pattern of the repeat, which you've already done. So basically, we're going to put this as the pattern. And the number of times you want to repeat the pattern. So create a val times to repeat form. Alright. And then we're going to pass in that too. To that. Okay, but so we have our border, which is going to just be this. And then we're going to make a new val num of times to repeat equals 4. Okay. And we're going to pass in the border, and then we're going to pass in this. Okay. And instead of repeating 25 times, we're going to repeat it number of times to repeat. So let's see if that works. Yeah, it's a pretty fancy border. Okay, and then you run it, and that's what it looks like. Cool. Here's the final code for the banner. Congratulations, with functions, arguments, variables, and repeat loop, you have learned the fundamental building blocks that are used in almost all programs. Take a break and then tackle the next task, where you will create more functions and loops, and you will gain the power to build gigantic cake with the right number of candles with just a few lines of programming. Alright, in this task we're going to upgrade the birthday cake to code to always be the right size with the right number of candles. Here's the picture of the cake we will be baking. Cool. Alright, age is going to be 24. Second variable is going to be layers. You're going to set it to 5. In the main function, you're going to print the cakes and candles. Okay, so this is our starter code. So we'll go over here. We will get rid of all this. And we're going to just replace it with that. And then print cake candles, print cake top, print cake bottom. Okay. Oh, those are our, so okay, in the main we're going to call a function, so we're going to make 3 different functions: print cake candles, print cake top, and print cake bottom. To get rid of the errors, comment out the 3 functions by adding forward slashes at the beginning of each line. Okay, run your program and it should have no errors. Print cake top function to print the top of the cake. A line of equal signs is almost the same as a print border function you created earlier. In this code lab, below the main function, add a blank line and then create the print cake top that takes one argument of type int. Inside, use a repeat statement to print one equal sign age times plus 2. The extra 2 equal signs are so that the candles won't fall off the sides of the cake. At the end, when the repeat is done, print an empty line. In the main, remove the 2 symbols from the beginning line of print code because now the function exists. Okay, so print cake top. So fun print cake top. Not taupe, top. We're going to pass in age of type int. Alright. And then we're going to repeat age number of times plus 2. And we're going to print equals, and then we're going to do a print line. Okay, and then we can uncomment out print cake top. We passed in age, so it should print. So if we're in this right now, it's calling print cake top. We made print cake top. Should pass in age to here, and we're going to print this age number of times, which is 24 times plus 2, Alright, let's see if that worked. Looks like it worked. Alright. Yep. Run your code. See the top of the cake. Create print cake candles. Each candle is made up of two symbols, a comma for the flame and a vertical line for the candle body. To accomplish this in one function, put two repeat statements, one for the flames and one for the bodies, into your function. Below the function and the print cake top function, create a new function called print cake candles that takes one argument, age, of type int. Inside, use a repeat statement to print one comma for the flame. Repeat this h number of times. At the end, print an empty line. Add a print statement to print one space for insetting the candles below. Repeat the steps. Okay. Okay. Function print cake candles of type int. It's passing in the age. We're going to print an empty line. Oh. Okay. Alright. So we're going to repeat it h number of times. Okay, and then we're going to inset it again. Repeat h number of times. Right. Function print cake candles. Okay. And we are passing in age of type int. Okay. Alright, so we are going to print just an empty space to inset it, and then we're going to repeat age number of times, print okay, and then make a print line. Alright, and then we're going to do a print to inset the base of the stem of the candle. Just print an empty space, and we're going to repeat h number of times, and then we're going to do print where's this? Up and down line, and then we're going to do a print line to jump to the next line, and that should work. Alright, we're going to uncomment print cake candles, and we should run it to see if it worked. Unresolved reference. Okay, I should just put that there, that would be better. And it's probably going to do the same thing here. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Good deal. Alright. Create print cake bottom. In this function, you are drawing a cake bottom that is wide as h plus 2. And you draw it for the height of a given number of layers. This means your function needs two arguments. One for the width, age, and one for the height, layers. To print the bottom number of the cake, you must repeat it at symbol h plus 2 for the times to print one layer. Then you must repeat, so we got to put a repeat within a repeat. Yes, no. Function print cake bottom, age int, layers int. Repeat h plus 2, print at, print line. Okay, that's just for one layer. Yeah, they put a repeat within a repeat. You're going to repeat the layers. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. So let's do this. So we're passing in, yeah, age and layers. So I'll go ahead and remove this because we're going to make this in a second. And we'll just copy the name so I don't mess up the name. And I'll copy what we're passing in too because I got to use those anyway. Copy. Okay, scroll down. Alright. So, function age, which is an int of type int, and layers, which is also of type int. Alright.